Eli Carter spent his days immersed in the whispering rustle of paper and the sharp scent of ink, tucked away in the back corner of a small stationery shop, where bright cards lined the shelves and wrapped gifts waited for the empty hands of customers. At 35, he was the proud owner of a dream that felt much smaller than the vast world outside. The shop had once thrived, populated by friends and neighbors who shared in his colorful passion for all things written. Now, like his income, its vibrancy had dulled. Each month brought the weight of overdue rent papers and suffocating bills. Eli's heart sank as he meticulously counted the cash drawer at closing time, the crisp bills juxtaposed against the diminishing sound of chatter that had once filled the sunny room with warmth. His thick glasses often slid down his nose as he squinted at receipts, frowning at the numbers that never seemed to align with his hopes. Scruffy hair fell haphazardly into his eyes as he wiped the sweat anxiety from his brow, a common occurrence in the sweltering little shop. Eli was affable, a soft-hearted man with an undying belief in the power of words, but that same kindness often felt at odds with his financial desperation. His compassion extended beyond his books and cards, it was woven into the very fabric of his being. Even when he could barely afford to take a breath without it costing him, he believed the world was a better place with kindness in it. It was the principle that propelled his mismatched layers of sweaters and the tired sneakers that almost seemed to be part of his skin. It was a dreary Tuesday morning when Eli made his way to the little corner of the park he so adored, a place where the trees swayed gently and sunbeams dared to break the clouds' fierce grip. He had decided to make a small act of kindness, not for himself, but for the world that looked bleak, if only for a moment. Armed with a handmade sandwich wrapped in wax paper and a few packets oft, a simplistically joyful meal that cost him all of $1, he settled on a weathered bench. The park was disappearing under the encroaching shadows of afternoon, even the birds seemed to be shielding themselves from the dampness of the cool breeze. As he sacrificed his humble lunch to the chirping avian congregation that gathered boldly around him, his eyes suddenly fell upon something unusual tucked beneath the bushes. It was a patch of sadness, a small shape trembling with frailness. Eli's heart skipped a beat as he crouched closer, elatedly frightened, for there lay a baby bird, its tiny wings fluttering weakly at its sides. It was speckled with dirt, a sad, delicate figure that seemed as though it had forgotten how to soar. The park's demands, the bustle of midday joggers and children's laughter, faded as his world narrowed to that single moment. How had this tiny creature come to need him? Eli's hands shook slightly as he reached for it, driven by a deep instinctual emotion that reminded him of his late grandmother, who once mended broken things as if stitching hearts would heal their scars. He didn't know where that thought came from, but it made him feel alive, energized despite the dark cloud that had shadowed him all these months. Holding the bird gently in his palms, he breathed in deeply, resolve strengthening within him. The little bird blinked its beady eyes, and for the briefest moment, as Eli watched it, hope fluttered in the confined space of his heart. He envisioned a sturdy nest, a warm home, and the foster nurture he could provide to this tiny life that mirrored his own in its fragility. With a careful heart, Eli muttered soft words of comfort, a magnetic promise of care that seemed to seep into the fabric of his reality. He would take it with him, he would nurse it back to health. Eli managed to fashion a modest sanctuary from an old shoebox he had lying at the shop, remnants of his childhood clamor, the memories of vibrantures weaving into every corner and shadowed crease. Over the next few days, he delved into the art of caring for the bird, researching its needs with a fervor that ignited his purpose. The tiny creature, whom he named Pip, became the embodiment of determination, a spark of life nestled amidst the gloom surrounding his own existence. Day by day, Eli juggled between tending to the shop and tending to his feathery companion, until he began to realize that with each bit of food he found for Pip and each moment spent coaxing life back into it, he found himself resurrecting tiny pieces of his own spirit that had long felt lost under mounting debts. As the days merged into a tapestry of routine, Pip responded. His once frail wings were now stronger, a beacon of vitality that brightened Eli's shop and shadowed his anguish in the glow of resilience. Through this endeavor, Eli felt an awakening he never thought possible. Somehow, his financial struggles began to intertwine with moments of floration, each chirp that echoed in the air above the wrinkled reminders of his worries marking the beginning of a transformation he had yet to understand. In nurturing Pip, he learned that kindness, even in the face of hardship, was his most valuable currency. And suddenly, amidst the struggles and the worries, the thought flickered like a candle in the dark. Perhaps this journey was not only about the bird he had rescued, but but about the possibility of flight that lay just ahead, a flight towards something magnificent he had never dared to dream. As the weeks turned to months, Eli and Pip became an inseparable duo, the little bird now more a spirited companion than a frail creature on the brink of despair. Their bond pulsed with an energy Eli had long craved. It brightened the dim corners of his stationery shop, infusing the air with new life. With each feather that ruffled when Pip preened himself, Eli found renewed purpose and an inkling of joy he thought perpetually out of reach to customers who entered found their aches softened by the unexpected charm of a tiny avian friend fluttering through the air, a peculiar delight that transformed Eli's ordinary shop into a community hub. Amongst the delighted patrons was Maya, a single mother who had been a regular customer for years. Barely keeping her head above water, she often purchased just enough to make it through the week, choosing thoughtful gifts for her children over indulging in personal desires. That sunny Saturday, she strolled in, her weary eyes glimmering as she watched Pip curiously darting around in a soft cardboard house Eli had crafted from a box that had contained his latest shipment of whimsical paper. A warmth spread across her face as Eli told her the story of the little bird's recovery. "I never knew kindness could live right here," she remarked softly, pulling her daughter Alara close to her side. "In a funny way, Pip reminds me that even when we feel broken, we can find our way back to being whole." Those words lingered in Eli's mind even as Maya's smile gradually faded, replaced by a shadow of concern. After a moment of silence, she continued, "You know, Eli, I've been struggling to pay rent these days. I'm scared I'll lose my apartment. And my girls. Sometimes kindness feels so far away when it's just bills and worries flying at you." For Eli, this moment revealed an unexpected depth to the kindness they exchanged. Inspired, he offered to help. On a whim, he asked Maya if she'd be interested in holding a card-making workshop at the shop, a chance for neighbors to share in the art of crafting letters and greetings with others, perhaps even a way to generate income for her as a supplement to her current challenges. A slow smile crept back into Maya's face as she processed the possibility. Eli, filled with hope, envisioned a colorful event that could lift spirits while helping others financially. Together, they planned the workshop, pouring their passion into every tale. They spread the word within the community, the very fabric that had supported Eli's shop for years. As the day approached, he felt a nervous yet delightful anticipation tingling under his skin. The day of the workshop arrived, and the charming little store brimmed with laughter, colorful papers, and art supplies transformed the shop into a sanctuary of creativity. Families gathered, children cheered as they created whimsical cards filled with love and well wishes, and amidst the cheerful chaos, Eli and Maya worked fervently. Within hours, they had created a sense of camaraderie that breathed life and laughter into the shop. When Maya mentioned the intention behind the workshop, people responded generously, encouraging donations not just for the supplies, but to help her financial burden as well. "Let kindness ripple," Maya encouraged as people crafted, and Eli couldn't help but smile. It felt powerful, embracing this journey of vulnerability united them. As people began financial support along with their heartfelt wishes, Eli watched the little buckets collecting donations fill up one by one with every piece of artwork created, and soon the workshop exceeded their wildest dreams. The windfall from the evening turned out to be $1,500 collected within just a few hours. Afterward, the two, sitting in a corner of the shop with the remnants of card-making materials scattered about, enveloped by a warmth unique to moments of genuine connection, shared a laugh, their hearts mirroring the harmony created during the vibrant day. Maya's eyes filled with gratefulness as she clutched the jars of funds. "Eli, I never thought I'd feel this much hope in one afternoon," Maya marveled softly. "Thank you for this." Eli felt shy as warmth nestled in his chest. In some mysterious way, her joy rang as truer than any lingering darkness in his own thoughts. "You've done it all," he replied genuinely, recognizing that the ripple had begun with their initials toward each other. In the following weeks, Maya's newfound sense of security shifted her perspective and, driven by gratitude, she began to harness her creativity. They organized more workshops, growing into a series of community-building events that saw people with various backgrounds share their stories, struggles, and gifts. Each event garnered financial support, giving Maya the opportunity to stabilize her life and provide for her daughters with more than just mere survival. But it did not end at Maya. Eli was astounded as he found himself welcoming a diverse array of new faces, each eager to learn or share something unique. Among the visitors was Richard, an elderly gentleman who owned the bakery down the street, a place where the scent of freshly baked bread mingled with the salty notes of laughter from customers. Richard, after attending one of their workshops, approached Eli with an idea of collaboration. "What if we combine our businesses?" he asked, his eyes sparkling with mischief. "Imagine baking decorative cookies together for the customers to create cards. It's a match made in heaven." Eli's heart raced as he considered the possibilities. "You mean create a package where people can bake cookies, write cards, and even gift them," he suggested, visioning a collection that would combine their passions. Richard nodded, his face breaking into a broad smile. "We could call them Sweet Messages from the Heart." And just like that, the ripple effect took an impressive turn. The collaboration led to a deliciously charming array of products that not only invigorated the sales of both of their businesses but also attracted community members who wanted to join, actively engaging with each other as they crafted their unique treats to share. One weekend, amidst flocks of customers cheering and participating, Eli noticed a rush of excitement as parents moved to the baking station. Hands, sticky with batter and glitter, blurred toiling away, voices with joy over the scent of fresh cookies, combining without fear of struggle or hardship, battling against the daunting pressure of their own financial worries. Through the laughter and camaraderie, Eli caught sight of Pip perched happily on a shelf, an undeniable truth shimmering in the air. It wasn't just Eli who had found his calling. Each person impacted by their acts of kindness now blossomed hope in startling colors, and the warmth surrounding him resonated deeper than any significant sale ever could. Spurred on by their successes, Eli approached Richard after the event, asking if he'd be willing to partner to create a pop-up shop together for their product line. Richard drained his coffee, eyes glinting with excitement. "I've got to tell you, Eli, with your creativity and passion and my baking skills, we could expand our reach beyond our little store. We could have a booth at the farmer's market. We could take this outside, show everyone that kindness can turn into wonderful that supports our craft." Plans quickly unfolded, turning into ambitious excitement as they rallied together. Quite suddenly, what seemed like meager ambitions evolved into a groundbreaking opportunity that promised genuine financial transformation for both of them. The pop-up took months to build but finally came together, and on that fateful Saturday, they shone brighter than they ever imagined possible. After 7 tumultuous yet colorful hours of interaction at the market, they moved with the ebb and flow of laughter, joy, and sales made with gratitude. Eli learned the true meaning of community that day. It wasn't just about pushing paper or selling baked goods, it was about embracing each other's struggles and carefully crafting a joyful oasis amidst the chaos of daily life. When the day came to a close, Richard and Eli counted their earnings. They had collectively crossed the $3,000 mark. Overwhelmed, they exchanged glances brimming with gratitude, mouths open in wreathless disbelief. With each dollar exchanged came someone's story, someone's kindness that rippled into existence. As the sun set over the bustling market, its warm glow painting the canvas of their joint venture, Eli squeezed Pip gently as little wings fluttered. Moments unfolded in the realization that kindness not only built bridges for the weary but opened doors previously forgotten. Who could have known that a single act of compassion could unfold an entire vortex of life-altering possibilities, connecting the fragmented lives of neighbors through letters and sweet baked goods? Walking home that evening, hand in hand with Maya, Richard, and an ever-curious Pip, Eli felt lighter than he had in months. Somewhere amidst the sounds of laughter and the richness of hope, the worry lines on his brow began to fade. He understood that every kindness, however small, interacted to form an expansive tapestry of lives transformed, emboldened, and significantly brighter, painted with colors of possibility and love. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a golden hue over the bustling farmer's market, Eli Carter felt a growing sense of connection with the community he had long called home. The combined efforts with Richard, Maya, and Pip had blossomed into something neither of them had anticipated, a collaboration that brought joy not only to themselves but also to countless others who had joined in their mission of kindness and creativity. With their new venture, Sweet Messages from the Heart, taking flight, Eli found himself reveling in a renewed sense of purpose. The product line had quickly turned into a fan favorite, brimming with the warmth of freshly baked cookies, each adorned with heartfelt notes crafted by children and families. Each cookie package was also sprinkled with a small card, encouraging kindness, a sweet reminder that each bite infused joy into the world. Word spread like wildfire within the community. Soon, they garnered attention from local news, resonating with the message of connection during tough times. When the feature aired, calls poured in from neighboring towns. Customers expressed their desire to place orders, attend workshops, and engage in a series of events that deepened the sense of community they had worked so hard to build. Soon after their initial pop-up, a local cafe reached out, interested in featuring their cookie packages as part of their menu. This partnership meant not only exposure for Eli and Richard but guaranteed consistent sales. Overwhelmed with gratitude, Eli warmly accepted. What had started as a one-off event now burgeoned into a steady source of income, alleviating burdens they never fully realized weighed on them. As weeks rolled on, Eli found himself transforming in ways that echoed beyond financial gains. Not only did he see his shop thriving, but the sense of camaraderie that blossomed through his genuine acts of kindness expanded into his very being. Each day, he awoke with alarming excitement, jumping willingly into the ongoing chatter in the shop. Familiar faces returned, each carrying small moments of joy, a shared story with his community laced with unbroken smiles. Within this joyful chaos, Maya continued to flourish. She found confidence in her own skills as she expanded her role at the workshops, creating art programs for children who yearned to explore their creativity but had never been given the chance. Word of her art classes spread, and soon, they were fully booked, drawing the attention of local schools and establishments. Eli marveled at her transformation, noticing how the woman who once carried anxiety and worry now peppered conversations with enthusiasm, her eyes lighting up when discussing her dreams for the future. "Eli," she said one morning over a cup of freshly brewed coffee in the dim afternoon sun, "it feels surreal to think we've turned our passions into opportunities. I've watched you grow, too. You've come alive." Her words resonated deeply within him. It had taken heart-wrenching moments to unearth the essence of kindness in his life, a kindness that rekindled not only connections but his own self-worth. "I wouldn't have done any of this without you, Maya. The way you embrace disaster with creativity is nothing short of inspiring." As the seasons changed, the business continued to blossom. Pip, now a feathery ambassador of cheer, had become a familiar sight in the shop and at every workshop. Kids flocked after him, learning the values of compassion and the fragile beauties of beings who needed care, an ethos that echoed the very fabric of Eli's beliefs. Around the nearing holidays, as their first anniversary together loomed, Eli invited Richard and Maya to his house to brainstorm ways to incorporate charitable giving into their business. Inspired by everything they had built together, he felt a heartfelt urge to give back. "What if we dedicated our sales from this year's holiday season to charities?" he proposed to them, excitement twinkling in his eyes. Richard leaned back thoughtfully. "People could buy cookies for their offices or gifts and know their purchases are also helping others. It's a win-win situation." Maya smiled brightly, already envisioning their expansive reach into the community. Together, they crafted a plan that would anchor their cherished creation further into goodwill, initiating a call to action to their customer base to come together in a way that elevated the spirit of the holidays. Through heartfelt marketing, they managed to gather donations from both customers and local businesses, creating a wellspring of joy and sense of belonging in their community. On a chilly December morning, they set up a donation station in the shop, a space appointed with winter decorations and twinkling lights that had been lovingly crafted by Maya and her young artists. "Each cookie purchased, each card created, it's a beacon of kindness," Eli told Mers as they entered, warmth extending from the heart of the store. "Together, we can brighten the season for families in need." The call met overwhelming enthusiasm. Through collaborative efforts, they raised nearly $5,000 by the end of the season, serving families in their local shelters, creating gift boxes filled with cookies and heartfelt notes that brought warmth to those who most needed it. The love they poured into the community appeared to have a ripple effect, inspiring goodwill, warm feelings, and connection to surface in the most unexpected ways. On the final day of the fundraiser, the shop was bustling with families engaged in holiday activities, card-making, laughter, and the scent of cookies hot out of the oven filling the air. It was a celebration of life in every sense. Eli sat back for a moment, grateful for the marvel before him. "Look around," Richard said, his voice warm with delight. This is what we always talked about. This sense of community, this born from small acts of kindness. None of this would have ever happened without that first vulnerable moment when you found Pip. Eli's heart swelled. In that moment, he realized that every small act he had taken had unfurled into something far greater than himself. It had illuminated the lives of those around him, opening doors to connection that bridged the gap between strangers and turned them into friends. When he looked at Maya and Richard, he understood that his journey was not solely about building a business, it was about rekindling hope, inflating dreams, and weaving together a tapestry colored with kindness, creativity, and unwavering support. Their mutual growth shone brighter than any financial windfall could manifest. It was a true evolution of their spirits interwoven through acts of heartfelt generosity. As night fell, Eli raised his glass in appreciation for the friendships forged and the life lessons learned, surrounded by laughter and the fragrant air still warm. To him, this was as good as it would ever get. Together, they toasted to the journey they had embarked upon, a journey sparked by a moment of kindness that turned into an outpouring of gratitude, connection, and love. May we continue to sprinkle kindness wherever we go, he declared, laughter weaving through their hearts, an echo symbolizing enduring hope. And as cheers resounded around him, Eli felt certain of one truth: love, once ignited, had the power to lift not only individuals but entire communities, forging a transformative embrace that made their lives rich in spirit and connection. From that day forward, Eli lived in awareness. Through deep connections and small sustained movements, the world could indeed be a vast place filled with hope, a beautiful tapestry stitched together through kindness, collaboration, and a belief in the goodness that flourished when people opened their hearts.